Well, good morning there, friends. As you can tell, I'm out on my shooting range again, and the purpose of this video is obviously to retest my cherry and alder gunpowders, just simply because the other day when I tested them with my flintlock, those first two numbers with the cherry were above 2,000, and I don't trust those numbers at all. But just for the benefit of those that want to see the numbers, I'm going to scroll through those numbers right now. So in this test, I'm going to go obviously with the 90 grains volume, which should be pretty close to 80 grains by weight. Only this time I'm going to be testing these gunpowders out of my Lyman Great Plains rifle, and I'm going to be testing the homemade percussion caps that my friend Robert made with his 3D printer. Now I'll tell you, as far as the caps are concerned, it's those circular bang caps, and I'm using the component that's kind of flesh colored to pinkish colored, and I have two of those compressed in the cap along with some of my homemade black powder, which is about a 4F, if not even finer than that. So I'm pretty much set up. I'm going to reposition the chronograph, and I guess let's just see what kind of numbers we're going to get. Cap exploded, but obviously the charge didn't go off. I'm going to put a magnum cap on it. $15.97. It's a little bit slower than my flintlock. Well, here's the patch. It's pretty damn clean. Hopefully that'll remain consistent being clean. Remember, I'm also shooting a 54 caliber, so there's a little bit of weight difference in the lead. Let me get reloaded and get you another number. This time I'm going to try another homemade percussion cap with a match head scraped into the cap, but mixed with some sulfur. Let's see if that'll make a difference. Well, that seemed to work. $15.98. So that round, I put a pillow ticking patch in there so I wouldn't be confused over what I may have missed the other day. But still, that patch is very clean. So I'm going to try another one of those 3D printed caps. Actually, no. The top of the cap is not fitting. I'm going to try it, but it's not fitting really good within the hammer, that cup inside the hammer, underneath the hammer. But I'll try it. Well, it went off really good. 1564. I'm going to try once again the homemade percussion cap with the match head and the sulfur added to it. It hung, but it went off. Let me get your number. 2861. Obviously, that's a junk number. I am pulling the chronograph back into the shade, and I'm also shutting it off in between myself doing all this. But let me go mark it off and see if I can't get you a more reasonable number. It's a little more like it, 1590. Okay, the previous shot that was the 28 something, that was another pillow ticking patch, and I just now found that. Once again, look how clean that is. In fact, you can actually see the striping through, you know, the burnt powder. To me, that's like amazing. But before I take the last shot, I want to make this comment. I plan on taking this gun deer hunting this year, and before I do, I'm going to have to adjust the sights just a hair. When I show you the target, it'll put this comment into better context. That is, if I don't screw up this shot. Stay tuned. So going back to set up my chronograph, get it out of the shade and back into the sun, I found that previous shot, the patch right here. Very, very clean. Very clean. This would be the side that wrapped around the ball, and that's the side that sat on the powder charge. I'm impressed with Cherry. And these numbers right now seem to be a little bit more consistent than they were the other day with my flintlock. Is that a result of what I've mentioned before about those gases escaping out that touch hole? Whereas when it comes to a flintlock, that percussion cap in the hammer tends to keep all them gases confined to, you know, the rifled barrel as opposed to shooting out the side of a flintlock. You guys can decide that for yourselves. All right. $15.81. Let me go pull the target and I'll show you the grouping. Well, I recovered that patch. Again, that's the side that set on the powder charge, and that's the side that set or cupped the round ball. I think it's pretty damn clean, guys, for Cherry having a specific gravity from a Boyer's perspective of 0.50. Now, this is why I said I'm going to have to adjust my sights before I go deer hunt, because I buried my front sight right in the center of the bullseye. And that's where all 6 shots ended up. Not a bad grouping for homemade gunpowder, but at least the numbers as they pertain to right now, this Cherry seems to be a very consistent burning charcoal. Make of it what you will. I'm the guy making the gunpowder. I'm the guy shooting it through my chronograph, and I'm the guy that's going to probably be taking this shit deer hunting because I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, it's only getting, you know, a little below 1,600 feet per second, but that's a pretty damn good tight group for homemade gunpowder, honestly. And I am making a batch right now after the other day. Shooting this with my flintlock. I'm making a batch, I'm milling a batch right now that's a combination of the cherry and the alder. It's 7.5 grams of cherry, 7.5 grams of alder, and I'm going to be comparing that here before too long because I kind of want to see how these two charcoals are going to interact with each other. It might even make them a little bit better. I don't know. But anyhow, that's that target. I'm going to get set up. And I'm not going to clean the gun barrel because I don't clean my gun barrel even at a rendezvous. So I'm just going to load up, you know, the 90 grains by volume with the alder and just see what I'm going to get on a new target. Stay tuned. Now that I have the camera focused on the target, I'll probably start shooting like crap. Well, here we go. 16, 17. I'm going to go mark that off. Looks like it's a bullseye. So I recovered that patch, and I'm using all pillow ticking this time. That's the side that cupped the ball, and that's the side that set on the powder charge. Now I would think that that's just a hair dirtier compared to the other ones that I showed. But I'm going to get some more numbers, pick up some more patches, and we'll do maybe a more even or fair comparison of the patches. I can see where that one went. Let me get your number. 16, 15. Let me go mark it off. So the sun went behind a cloud. I don't know if I'm going to get a number or not, but this particular shot I'm going to use one of those 3D printed percussion caps. Well, went off pretty good. Looks like I'm a little high, but all in all, that's still not bad. Let me see if I can get a number. The number is 1586. The next shot will be taken with a homemade percussion cap. That's the match head with the sulfur mixed in with it. Seemed to work pretty good. Let me get your number. 1582. Well, I found that patch. You guys decide for yourself. One man's opinion as to what is a dirty or a clean patch is just that, an opinion. I do use a spit patch, and I have not cleaned the barrel at all, and I've not experienced any loading problems whatsoever. So I'm going to get loaded back up, and hopefully I can get you a fifth number. So far, I'm a little more impressed with these numbers coming out of my percussion than I am with my flintlock. And just to reiterate a point, is that because you're losing some of those gases throughout that touch hole. Again, decide for yourself. This go around, hopefully I get a good number, but I'm using a Magnum cap this time. $15.86, and I'm not quite sure where that one hit. So I'm going to go pull the target, mark it off, and we'll wrap it all up. Okay, so what's my conclusion? Well, with the cherry in a 5-shot average, 1586 with a spread of 33. The alder, 5-shot average, 1597 with a spread of 35. So I would say that those two charcoals are very comparable. Once again, here's the target with the alder. And here's the target with the cherry. And it's oriented like this. Okay. Now it's interesting. Look how good that group is with the cherry. But the other day when I shot it with my flintlock, that was the group. You can kind of see that today I shot a lot better than I did the other day with the flintlock. And an interesting comparison is the other day with my flintlock, that was the group. And this is the group today. Almost a mirror image, isn't it? Now, for another quick comparison, the other day with the cherry, I got a average. What I did is I took the third shot, which was 1958, the fourth shot, 1902, the seventh shot, which was 1724, my eighth shot, which was 1713, and I took the ninth shot of 1689, which was higher than the fifth shot of 1658. So I took the high numbers, and I got an average of 1797 with a spread of 189. And with the alder, I was able to get 5 good numbers. And I had a 5-shot average of 1750 with a spread of 63. So you might be wondering, well, with the flintlock, why did I get, 100 plus more feet per second in velocities? Well, that's the difference between having a short barrel gun and a longer barrel gun, because now with the longer barrel, you've got more time for those gases to build up before that ball exits out the front of the barrel. That's my best explanation, and really it's the only explanation you got, because with the longer barrels you tend to generate more time for the gases to build up than you would, say, in a short barrel gun. But look at the difference. With the flintlock, and as I mentioned earlier, a lot of those gases are escaping out that touch hole. Yeah, you may be getting more feet per second, but how much more feet per second would you be getting if that touch hole wasn't allowing those gases to escape? Would your spreads be a lot more consistent? Would your numbers be a lot more consistent? Because quite honestly, how do you measure the amount of gas from shot to shot that's literally escaping out of that touch hole, as opposed to the percussion? And I think that this is a pretty good example of what we're looking at, because even though I had 1586, the spread was only 33, and with the alder, an average of 1597, a spread of 35. So I think we can conclude that with the percussion, you're going to have a lot more consistent numbers. That's my takeaway from this ultimately. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and I hope you all can take something away from this, and I hope everybody will enjoy the rest of the day. I got a gun to go clean. Bye.